You would have thought having this particular backing would have been the kiss of death for anybody's career. Sorry, I've got the giggles here, chums, but you know what you know what it's like. I often think when a celebrity comes out to bat for you, and it's a little bit like politicians, isn't it? We've seen it with the calamity that is Keir Starmer. Comes out and says, "I fully back Peter Mandelson." 2 days later, gone. And then, of course, he recently said it about he was standing fully behind the Deputy British Prime Minister, Angela Rayner, and then curtains for her, you see, because he's clueless as to what he should do. And really, as I said, it can be the kiss of death if somebody decides to back you. Is this now the case, of course, for the disgraced chat show host, ABC, whatever you want to call him, Jimmy Kimmel? Because this celebrity has decided to get behind him. Some might say this is not going well. As ever, let me explain. Morning, nice to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me today. And as ever, welcome one and all brand new subscribers. And by the way, I'm glad you enjoyed the wonderful story that I was able to share with you all about, of course, the Royal, that did something rather unique up in Blackpool, which has never been done again. Incredible. That's what I love sharing about on our channel. You find things out and you go, I didn't realise that. And I would have thought, genuinely, it's when you look a bit deeper into the famous Blackpool illuminations, I would have thought something like Princess Margaret would have turned them on at one point, or even Lord Louis Mountbatten. I mean, he liked doing anything, didn't he? And so you sort of think, wow, so it was a big thing. And as one lady commented, and I remember this particularly, I think it was a lady in the comments, in fact, but she said she remembered when Red Rum, the very famous racehorse, yes, he turned it on. They built a special platform where he could put his hoof to start the lights off. They don't come up with anything unique like that anymore, do they? No. What we have is things like this. Yes, let's get back to your story of the day. This, of course, is all about some might say, disgraced chat show host Jimmy Kimmel, the mess that he's now got himself in with ABC Disney, and really the ongoing thing about late nights. I mean, as many of my American chums tell me, the late night thing, to me, I mean, for my generation at least, I'd sort of lost interest in it way back in the sort of 90s because the guests were just getting thinner and thinner. And I really only knew of Johnny Carson because we didn't get that show over here. But of course, reading lots of show business books, meeting so many people, he was the number one. Everybody spoke of him. I know there were many others like Jack, Parr, and what was the other one? Steve Allen, one of the innovators at the very time. And, but Johnny Carson sealed it, didn't he? He made it look effortless. Jimmy Kimmel, I'm not so sure. You can't necessarily blame him, but they're just simply not the guests around that they were. Interesting, though, that this particular disgraced chat show host, Ellen DeGeneres, is calling to back Jimmy for his banning, not banning, coming back, not coming back, whatever you want to call it. Well, Ellen DeGeneres, if you remember, was run off the airwaves all thanks to bullying claims, so I wouldn't necessarily say this is a surefire winner, right? I mean, you might want to think, no, keep your distance, Ellen, but she's desperately trying to get back in with somebody to get her career kick-started and won't mind being a guest. Behind the scenes, what I can tell you also is this from an excellent source at ABC Disney. You see, what celebrities like this do, Jimmy Kimmel, they look at the alleged backing that they have from people, and then they say, well, who did support me, who didn't? Now, all the celebrities that failed to ignite and get behind him on social media and TikTok and, YouTube and all those things, well, apparently there's now a drawn out list. Yes, this is showbiz, love. And if you didn't support him, and we're talking about the bigs, like the Madonnas, the Chers, the big Hollywood stars, that sort of stuff, So if you haven't got behind him and said, yeah, you're terrific and, you should be back on air, then you've now got a black mark against you, as ever, I have to say, allegedly. And this will come around, you see, because if you are promoting something like a book, an album, a movie, they will go go down the list. Now, shouldn't it be the other way around, really? If this person, this celebrity, if they can get you a fantastic rating and get people to stay up late and watch your show, maybe help you out on digital platforms, wouldn't that be better? No, they're not bothered about that, see. So the thing is, it's like, well, you've hurt me, my feelings are hurt. And this is the problem I think that ABC Disney, who own that particular station, have, because you've now got an ego out of control. The guests are obviously irrelevant to him. It's all about whether he is being looked after and thought so. Now, of course, Ellen is going to think that she's going to get booked on as a supporter. Given, as I say, the fact that she was run off her own show from the Warner Brothers lot for alleged bullying claims, which were verified throughout, as you know, well, is this really a good idea? And would this make you tune in? I'd love to know. Neil Shaw, Kensington, London.